While numbers in the general population seem to be leveling out, COVID-19 cases are surging in long-term care facilities. What's the liability there? Nainesh Kotak from Kotak Law joins us this morning to explain. Good morning, Nainesh.
Good morning, Anne.
So, were enough precautions taken to ensure safety across Canada's nursing homes?
Right. In my view, I don't think so. You know, we have almost 660 deaths, probably a little bit more, in Ontario now. Over 449 approximately are in long-term care homes. That's more than half. The national average is around half, and so we're not doing good, and it's a real tragedy. Much could have been done to prevent this. Look, long-term care homes have vulnerable people, elderly people living there. It's not the first time an infection has run through a long-term care home. They've had influenza outbreaks, other outbreaks, and by statute, the Long-Term Care Homes Act, these homes are required to have an infection control protocol in place and provable, functional. They are required to have emergency protocols in place. So I think there's been a systemic failure. What could they have done? I mean, quite a bit. Have personal protection equipment available on site. Better pay to the personal support workers so they could stay in one home and not go from one home to the other.
Because that's a problem in many cases, right? Where you're having to work at 2, sometimes 3 care facilities because you can't get the wages that you need to make a living.
Absolutely. And that's what, in fact, has caused the spread. Now, the majority of these homes are privately owned. So they're there, you know, for profit, obviously, like any other business. But there's been a systemic issue, and I think it's gone on for years with respect to long-term care, and they are, you know, nursing homes. And I think, you know, Premier Ford is really going to look at this. When all is said and done, there's definitely going to be a reckoning here. In terms of overhaul, you know, there's been unions going to court asking for an injunction that the government take over these homes. A nurses union has gone to court to ask the court order these homes to comply with infection control. And you know what? Unfortunately, it's too little and too late, and it's no solace to those family members who have lost people in those homes in their, into such a terrible way to go when you don't have your family around you. But I do see liability, and I think you're going to see a fair bit of litigation around it. Look, not every death was preventable, and not every death is actionable. But obviously, I truly think more could have been done.
Is there not some legislative liability here, though?
You know, there can be provisions for fines under the Provincial Offences Act as well. The Long-Term Care Home Act does provide for enforcement, so we may see that. But I think right now everybody's sort of in the catch-up phase as to, okay, what do we need to do now? I know Premier Ford has asked the military to help staff some of the long-term care homes in terms of assisting with administration and isolation and things like that. But, you know, we have, more than 4 patients in a room. Obviously, this disease, COVID-19, was going to spread rapidly, and much more should have been done.
We have less than a minute left, but I wanted to ask you, what can families do who are affected by this?
Right. Well, they should file a complaint, first of all, with the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care and cause an investigation to occur. And I have a feeling, that a lot of people are going to do that, and that's one thing to do. And the next thing would be, I think, to, look at their legal options in terms of the right to sue the owners, administrators of these homes, to prove that there was negligence.
Okay, thanks very much for chatting with us this morning. Some good advice there, Nainesh. Nainesh from Kotak from Kotak Law. And we'll be back with more Morning Live right after this.